Hey there, everybody, and welcome to my channel. My name is Ahmed, and today I'm thrilled to present an exciting interview which I believe will serve as inspiration for those of you looking to embark on their journey in the cloud. It's no secret that cloud technology is dominating the spotlight as a trending topic influencing industries and businesses of all sizes and from various fields. In this interview, you will listen to a remarkable guest who is breaking barriers in the realm of cloud technology at just 19 years old. To the best of my knowledge, he is the youngest cloud engineer I've ever heard of to get hired. So let me introduce you to Tyler May and share with you what he had to say.
I never heard of someone younger than you in cloud technology.
I
So,
know, so I don't remember his name, but I remember on LinkedIn I saw there's another 19-year-old. He's from Africa and he's like a software engineer. It seems like he also knows a good bit about cloud. So I don't think I'm the youngest, but I think I got started early.
why cloud computing?
So when I started tech, I pretty much knew nothing. My intro to tech was actually kind of tied to my senior project. So in high school, they're like, okay, pick a senior project. And I knew I wanted to do something with computers. I knew nothing about them, but I thought they're kind of cool. There's a lot to learn. I'm a super high energy person, so I know I needed a career that would keep me learning and keep me engaged. So that's why I kind of picked it. My senior project was actually building it was a set of AWS services that work together to basically we called it an EC2 auditor. So when an EC2 instance would start up, it would trigger a event bridge alarm, and
Hmm.
then that would kick off a Lambda function that would talk to an SNS topic, and then that would go to my SNS subscriber, which was my email, and it would send me an email of my whatever the instance details were that started up in my account. So that got me pretty interested in cloud, especially because I love being able to do labs without having to go and buy like servers and stuff. I love these big, crazy labs, but I don't want to go and spend $10,000 on a whole bunch of servers to do something on premises.
Yeah, so that was when did you start? 1 year ago or maybe in high school?
It's kind of a weird timeline. So that was my senior project in high school, and I graduated high school like about a year and a half ago is when I graduated high school. So probably almost 2 years ago is when I got my feet wet in cloud. I mean, really, I had no idea, and I actually was planning on going to the University of Colorado Boulder for computer science. And my dad started talking to me about how you can do like these cybersecurity boot camps and get jobs in cybersecurity. And that got me super excited because I was like, that's awesome. If I don't have to spend 2 extra years learning about art history, I mean, sweet, I'll save myself a couple dollars too. And that kind of sparked my interest in cybersecurity too. So, like, I actually have two kind of primary interests. I really like cloud because I can build some like super big and some super impressive projects, which I think is super fun. And I also like security because I love to break things. Like, I don't think you'll be able to see it, but I have a dismantled laptop sitting over here on my desk. I think the physical aspect is fun just because you get to hold something. Like, I made
Hmm.
Pico Ducky. If any of y'all watching have made those, they're super fun. This one runs a PowerShell script that subscribes to my YouTube channel. But I kind of, since I've started, I feel like I've been a little bit biased towards cloud because that's just where I started. It's kind of what I understand the best.
You said in one of your videos you're more like an AWS person. Yeah.
Yes, it's kind of funny. So if you guys didn't know watching, I am a cloud ops engineer, and the vast majority of our infrastructure is in Azure.
Mhm.
And I'm an AWS person. Almost all of my knowledge is official knowledge, like certifications. I'm missing one up here, but that's okay. I was saying at my job, it's we're like all in Azure, and it's quite a learning curve. But I feel like I'm saying that just because I did start with AWS, and that's where like the majority of my knowledge is. So
And you don't
I
feel
feel
any like similarities because I never had hands-on Azure nor Google Cloud. I only work with AWS.
Mhm.
So did you feel any like differences, or I'm sure it's the same concept, but how is work with two different platforms?
I would say there's definitely knowledge that can be transferred. I mean, absolutely. It's like you take a compute service, whether it be from Google, Microsoft, or Amazon, and you can kind of navigate your way around it. Same thing with storage and networking and all these services. But one of the big things that I think is interesting with Azure is it's so much less isolated than AWS because like with AWS, when you log into a console, that is like that AWS account. There can be stuff that is linked to on-prem and other stuff, but generally it's pretty easy to navigate around and understand your infrastructure. Whereas with Azure, I've found it can tie into so much more than just like Azure. I mean, you have all of your Active Directory stuff, and that can tie into your on prem Active Directory. It does a really good job tying into on prem servers. So, like, we basically have like a refresh job that syncs like Azure database models to on-prem servers because customers will actually reach out to this Azure database model and do business intelligence on that set of data, but they don't touch our on-prem servers. So far, it just seems like it's a lot bigger than AWS. It kind of sounds weird because they offer such similar functionality, but it seems like it's a bigger cloud.
Well, you don't speak like a brand new, actually. You know exactly what you're saying. Actually, when I saw the thumbnail on your
Mhm.
video, I said, oh my God, like 19 years old. And I didn't believe. So I entered the video, and this guy is really a cloud engineer. And
Yeah, I would love to touch on what that process looked like because I think it's a really awesome example of the other skills than just like straight up computer knowledge that are super useful in technology. I think there's a couple really big ones. I don't want to talk for half an hour. I If you watch my videos, I love to go on tangents. But the first big thing that companies are really looking for is willingness and excitement to learn. And the second thing that it's not stated that they're looking for it, but it's certainly a helpful skill to have is being able to present yourself,
Mhm.
being able to post your projects on LinkedIn, even if it's like you plugged in an Ethernet cable. If you learn something, post about it. No one's going to call you dumb. It's not a hard enough project to not post. I know I don't have a pedigree. I'm 19. My prior experience before this job was an audiovisual technician. Yes, I do have a few really great certifications, and those really help me out. But at the end of the day, I'm young, I don't have a degree, and I don't really have a lot of experience. But they picked my resume out of the pile, and I know they picked it for a reason. So I was like, they're looking for someone that's willing to learn, clearly. And so I was like, I'm going to take initiative and kind of lead the first interview. I remember I picked up the phone, it was just on Zoom, and I was like, hey, listen, I know we don't have a lot of time. I have a project I would love to share with you. And we do that. And we spent the entire interview, I think we went overtime too, talking about this project. And then he actually had the idea for data sovereignty. He kept asking probing questions about how I could make it better or what were shortcomings. And we landed on data sovereignty. And so I actually did a quick redesign and made it look like where you can kind of pick what location you want to be routed to because he recommended it. And in between the first and second interviews, I emailed that to him and said, listen, I made this change. Let me know what you think. Didn't get a response back. Honestly, I didn't think I got the job because it took some time to get the second interview scheduled, but we did. And then second interview went well too. And here we are.
For people who want to watch this, what skills do you recommend?
I have a few soft skills. because I don't believe I'm a naturally smart person, but my goodness, do I work hard. So I'll take like two or three skills that are just super, super important. Number one, don't shoot yourself in the foot. You're not smart enough for this. You absolutely can do it. It doesn't matter what your previous job was. If you were hanging doors or doing something in HR, like it doesn't matter. You can learn it. So don't tell yourself you can't do it. Don't tell yourself you're just not a computer person. Because you absolutely can. You are totally capable. The other skill is, I guess I'll call it grit, the ability to pick a goal and work on it consistently. And even if it's just a little bit every single day, just keep working on it and working on it and working on it until you hit it. Because this is one of my favorite stories, actually. When I graduated high school, I had no idea how to study. I was not like an honor student or anything fancy. But when I graduated, I knew that I had to figure out how to study, or I would not be able to do this whole tech without a degree thing at all. So I told myself, I was like, I am going to study. I think it was like at least 6 days a week. It doesn't have to be an hour a day, 2 hours, 20 minutes. I just want to study every single day. And I did. And there were frequently days where I would pick up whatever book I was reading. I think I started with the Network Plus, and I would read one page, not one page front and back, one singular page, and I'd put it down and say I'm done for the day. But I studied, and so I kind of over time built that habit, and it made it so much easier to think about things like reading our CCNA books over here that I'm sure more than a few of you are familiar with. Um,
Yeah, and I
being able
also
to look
saw
at
you have a, book in one of your videos for Neil Davis. It's for AWS, I believe.
oh,
Yeah.
that one right there.
Yep,
But
this one, yeah.
I think like being able to stick with something is such an important skill because I'm not gonna lie. When I got these books in the mail, I kind of looked at them and I was like, "Wow, that's a lot of that's a lot of text. I don't. That's gonna be a lot." But day by day, I was like, even if it's one page, we are going to get through it. So I would say grit is another huge one. I know I didn't really answer the question because I didn't talk about anything technical, but
No, I don't think they want to hear the technical thing here because they want to know like exact skill. Soft skills are
yes.
great. Like because I know people will answer like, oh, Linux, I don't know, like Python. But this is the thing, like how to start with these, where to
Yeah.
start, and this is
Oh
what
my gosh.
this is
Yeah.
exactly what people ask. So your answer is great. Now you
Mm.
had something else, number three, I guess.
I do. I was just thinking about it. The third thing is don't be shy about sharing what you're learning. Like I said, kind of at the start of this interview, it does not matter what your lab is. It can be the most simple lab in the world, but if you learn something and you're excited about it, post about it. Tell the whole freaking world. If I plug in a Raspberry Pi and I get it to boot to Linux, that's awesome. I'm going to post about it. And that I think that's what I did. I remember if you go way back on my LinkedIn, I set up a just a virtual box VM. Looking back, I'm like, oh, that was so easy. That wasn't a hard thing to do. But at the time, it was, and I was excited. So I posted about it because it's not your job to say I'm not smart enough to share what I learned today. I don't. No one's gonna care about this. Doesn't matter. Post about it because I promise you, no one's taken time out of the day to say this guy posted about a virtual box VM. What an idiot! It's like get excited, tell the whole world. Kind of get weird in your interviews too. Like be excited in your interviews. Don't be afraid to go off and talk about your passion projects because people like that. People like that extra initiative.
I believe in this also because actually, when you share what you are doing, to me, it's you're sharing the best that's coming out of you. And this is exactly what attracts people, because they will say that, oh, this is the best of this guy, so we're gonna follow this guy. I have some experience with this because it really works, and
Mhm.
it will get you more people to believe in your journey.
Absolutely.
Just one thing, like you're really not afraid to take responsibility, I see, to for a job. Like people in your age, and even like I know people in my age in their 30s. I mean, they start like, oh, it's a new job, and they get freaked out, and
Mhm.
what shall I do? And can I solve the problem? Can I do the work? You don't seem this guy. You seem like you're encouraged, you're motivated to go and take this risk. And yeah, this is something that I would like you to share about.
Mhm.
If
Absolutely.
so, what motivates you that much?
So, first of all, I am a seriously strong believer in it is not your job to tell yourself no. If I didn't apply for a job because I didn't meet the minimum qualifications, I still wouldn't have a job in IT. So it's not your job to say, I'm not smart enough for this, I can't do this. If you
People
think the
say
job,
this, actually. People say this. People
I
don't,
know. Yeah, yeah.
they don't apply. They say, no, there's still something missing. I need to fill this gap. I need to do this skill. I need to do that. And they end up not applying. Like they end up like 2, 3 years, and
Mhm.
3 years of their lives, and they didn't land this job. They didn't even apply for it.
Yeah. I mean, it's like for me, it's always A, it's not my job to shoot myself in the leg and say I can't do it. And second of all, it's like, especially if you're new and you're excited and people are talking to you because of excitement, they want someone that can learn. And I believe in any IT job, they're always looking for somebody to learn. And I will say, at the job I'm at now, I have never been more scared in a first week of work in my life. Like I said, most of my knowledge is AWS, but my role is it's company wide. We're not a super big company, maybe I think like 200 people or something. But like this job, I was thrown straight into a lot of Azure, which I have next to no experience in. I was effectively brand new when I was hired. And I was also thrown straight into SQL and like not like big data stuff, but like managing databases and backups and restores and all of this like data related stuff because our product is effectively data. And I felt super unprepared. It was really scary, but I'm like, they saw my resume. If they pick your resume out of the pile and they know you don't have something, it's okay. They know they're going to have to teach you. If you lied on your resume and they think you know how to do stuff, then you might have a problem. But if you're hired for a job or someone's talking to you about a job, there's a reason. You didn't accidentally just stumble onto something. And if you get fired, if it's your second week and you like take down production and you can't solve the problem and they let you go, so what? There's 100 other jobs waiting to be applied for. So I am all about the like, just go for it. There's almost nothing to lose in the tech industry. There's always jobs. It's great.
Are you planning to pursue like formal education again, or are you pursuing, or
I
you
don't
don't
think
care
so.
about it?
I mean, I'm kind of at the point where it's like clearly my certifications have done me really well. And I'm like, I don't think a degree would add that much to my resume anymore. I mean, I have an engineer level position without a degree. My certifications
Yeah.
obviously speak volumes. And I like certifications a lot too because they really play to kind of I like to say it's one of my strengths is my work ethic. I mean, I have 3 jobs and I'm studying for certifications. And when employers see certifications, they know that you weren't forced to sit down in a classroom. You took time out of your day and you found the time to study for these certifications. You taught yourself how to study effectively enough to pass these certifications. And I think it shows initiative, which I think more and more nowadays is becoming a super important trait.
Your parents encouraged you, or did they have
Absolutely.
this traditional view, like go for formal education?
I tell people I hit the lottery with my parents. I thought my mom was going to freak out. My dad was kind of all for it the whole time, but there really wasn't much to lose. I was like, let's try it out for a year and see how it goes, see
Mhm.
what the market's like. And if it's bad and I think I need a degree, what did I lose? I spent a year studying certifications and learning a whole bunch about tech, and now I can go to college for comp sci. I mean, you're really not losing anything by taking a year and just trying it. But yeah, my parents were super encouraging. But I want to make a final note. One person that was super not encouraging was my high school guidance counselor. When I told her my plan switched from going to Boulder for comp sci, she responded with, keep in mind, I was super excited at the time. Like, I was so excited to start the certifications, just beaming with excitement. But she responded with, air quotes, hold on. Let me know how that works out for you. And that one, it
Yeah,
sticks.
in like a sarcastic way.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not a super nice comment, but I am very fortunate that I have very supportive people around me that have really just been encouraging of the path I've chosen to take.
Well, now if she's seeing you, I hope she changed her mind about it. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, like life is changing and even education is evolving.
I
And
want to speak at schools one day about that because I don't think people talk about other options other than higher education enough. Once again, that's a whole nother rabbit hole for another time. But that's one of my dreams.
If you like this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more content like this one, let me know in the comments below. Also, let me know what you think about this video, and you may share your ideas and opinions about this video in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching, and see you in the upcoming videos.